And as per usual, reload the page. Reload the page. Stream is starting. And we are live.
Bam.
Aloha. Lohali signing in with probably the episode that I've been waiting to do, the absolute longest, with one of the men who has helped me grow my hair to this amazing length and given me the chance to wear these amazing head wraps. These are the men who coined the highball, not man bun, who have brought us Twisted Tuesdays and Hair Whip Wednesdays. I am presenting to you, drum whirl in your head, please, El Rubio of the Long Hairs. You want to
Yo,
say
what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on the show.
not a problem, Graves, if you want to say hello real quick?
What's up, guys?
I am really excited for this episode, everyone, because this is a great chance to talk about two really interesting subjects. One is the different hairstyles in their meaning in manga, along with the chance to talk about an amazing cause and the chance to break the Guinness Book of World Records for the most hair donated. The Great Cut, taking place in San Diego, California. I believe Chula Vista is more accurate to be precise, right? In that area?
Our headquarters is in Chula Vista, but we will be hosting the event downtown San Diego, right in the mix there.
Right in the mix. And this is, like I said, to give a little bit more background, and obviously El Rubio is going to be talking a little bit more about this. Back last year, actually, right around my 24th birthday, I reached out to the Longhairs because I'd been writing one blog post a month for my own little website just to get something out there. And I said, hey, you guys have inspired me to grow my long hair. You guys have given me information based around this entire subject. And I want to give back. I would like to write an article for you. And El Rubio, being the taskmaster that he is, says, you can do it, but you got to make it. You have to make it one of the best things that you have ever written in your life. And you know what? It pushed me to create something, honestly, that I am deathly proud of. And since then, it has been a wild, wild ride. And now I am sporting the rarest of the head wraps right now, along with 8 of my other, I think I have like 9 or 10 in total head wraps. Their quality, they're amazing. And they lead us into the first discussion when it comes down to the importance of hair. So, El Rubio, you want to tell us a little bit about yourselves in the long hairs? That would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thanks again for having me on the show. Pumped to be here. As you mentioned, our business is the Longhairs. We sell hair ties for guys, which we've come to use quite often, as you know, as well as the head wraps. And you can't even get that head wrap anymore, by the way. The one that you're wearing, I believe that one was El Capitan, and it was sold out, never to be seen again. And I think your head wrap collection is more impressive than mine. But yes, we don't just publish original content, but we are getting, you mentioned the Great Cut. We're getting ready for a charity haircutting event that's coming up on March 16th. It's called the Great Cut, where our goal is 2,000 haircuts for kids who cannot grow their own hair. So we're inviting hair donors, professional hair cutters, guests, volunteers, and anyone who wants to come out and have a great time to join us at the Great Cut. And yeah, we can talk maybe a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that I am very, very excited about. Um, and I know that this whole thing spawned from you and El Moreno being fraternity brothers, if my memory serves me right. And, you know, you have helped encourage young boys, men, to grow out their locks and to actually sport them in a professional atmosphere, which, tying this into manga, we see that there are crazy hairstyles all over the place in anime and manga. Would you agree, Mr. Graves?
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
For sure. Yeah.
Do you think any of those hairstyles would be acceptable in any professional workplace currently?
No,
No.
not even close.
They're spiky, they're purple, they're ridiculous, and they're all over the place. And what El Rubio and El Moreno are trying to do, at least what my impression and my vision of this is, to make it so that you're not defined by your outside. You are defined by your actions, by who you are on the inside, because your long hair, your crazy hairstyle does not define you. It does not make you professional. And in the manga world, we've seen that apply all over the place. There are people with Yu-Gi-Oh style hair where it's super spiky. And just because they have that doesn't mean that they're not trying to achieve greatness. They're not trying to become something better than the sum of their outside. Because what long hair really is, and this saying is said a lot, long hair is in the heart. And I guess anime and manga hair is in the heart as well. Are you purple haired? Are you a red haired fighter? Are you kind of the quiet, shy type whose bangs are always in front of their face? It doesn't matter because that is you. Did I encapsulate kind of what that was a little bit?
Yeah, you did absolutely, and you used one of our favorite things to say, which is long hair lives in the heart. And really, where we stand is you should be able to grow your hair long or short. We do prefer it long, clearly. But for anyone who wants to, we provide tips and advice and inspiration, hopefully, in some cases, and some great products for guys with flow. Uh, and you're right. It's not about the length of your hair, it's about your depth of character. And that's very much a big part of our message as well at the Longhairs.
That is, I am so pumped. So, Graves, I want to ask you a question.
Alrighty.
Who has the one of the craziest hairstyles in manga that you can think of right now?
Oh man. Probably like Rio from Shaman King, that big pompadour.
Rio from Shaman King. He's actually included in the list that I sent to El Rubio. He is the man with the heart-shaped pompadour that just keeps evolving and growing and growing. Now,
Outrageous.
When you think of him, what do you think of Graves?
Oh man, I don't know what to say about that. How does he get it to stay up like that?
Lots and lots of just hair cream, uh, and gel, probably.
Hairspray and products and bobby pins. And I tell you what, the old Rio Shaman King here, we had old El Gustavo with a pretty darn similar hairstyle going. A couple of months ago, we went into a salon where a gal does kind of these really old school retro hairstyles, and she did a pompadour like that. It was really more of a beehive, and that thing must have been 24 inches above Gustavo's head, but not nearly as shapely as the Rio Shaman King here. I mean, that is impressive.
So, what would you name that hairstyle? Because I know that y'all have the gift of renaming these things into probably the greatest things ever. Or can
Gotta
you?
be something tubular. It almost looks like a wave, actually. So if you're gonna put me on the spot, I'm gonna have to call it the funnel.
The funnel.
Yeah, because it's funneling all the way in.
I can. You know what? The pompadour's now been renamed to the funnel. It's official. Long hair's official. The funnel is the new name.
You gotta have fun with it. You gotta have some good names, and you gotta make it a little bit your own.
Yeah, that is 100% true. Now, who would you say? Now, Graves, you have read One Punch Man, correct?
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, the main character in One Punch Man is something that breaks my heart a little bit on the inside. It is a bald man.
I I was actually going to bring this up. I saw a meme the other day that was really good, talking about most anime characters, like Gon from Hunter x Hunter and Goku from Dragon Ball Z and some other characters, and how when they get more powerful, their hair gets longer, and it's like the same size as them. And yet, Saitama from One Punch Man is the first one to work his butt off to be super strong, and he lost all of it.
And that's something that's heartbreaking.
Right.
You worked so hard and you just lost all of your hair because of the stress. You did 100 push-ups, 100 squats, and ran 10 kilometers a day. And what did you get for it? Chrome Dome.
Right.
So
That's tough going.
it is. And actually, Graves, you brought up something really, really interesting. And this is something that we've seen a lot in manga and anime. When a character progresses in their power, their hair gets longer. Kind of like the story of Samson from the Bible. He was strong because his hair was long. Now, Rubio, have you noticed any strength gains with your hair getting longer?
You know, there's lots of different kind of variations or stories about that concept, and I believe there's some truth to it. You hear about that in Native American culture. You know, there's a lot of stories that float around on the internet. I don't know about strength, but certainly I feel like my hair is connected to the external environment. I mean, if you just hold your hair out and with your eyes closed, if you brush the tips of your hair, you can feel that in your skull all the way at the end. And I mean, these are like 24 to 32-inch hairs here, so that's a long ways to travel, but you can still feel it. So those are receptors and antenna that are now out into the world. And if you look at some of these manga, like Frankie One Piece, look at this guy. I mean, are you serious? Sorry, does he fall into the category?
He does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
I mean, dude, that is like epic flow. And that's got to come with some sort of strength or some sort of extra sensory perception around himself. So, yeah, I believe if it's strength or sensory or connectedness to the environment around us, I definitely believe that there is something extra that comes with the long hair. And maybe that's what inspired some of the artists here and why, you know, the hair is why it is in some of these cases.
It absolutely is. I mean,
it's your stored up power.
Your hair is your stored up power, so when you suddenly cut it, it shows that you're not quite as good as you thought you were, which says that Saitama is probably one of the strongest characters of all time because he doesn't have any hair. And look at him. He ends everything in one single punch. Now, this whole just insanity behind growing your hair always stems from something that is in writing, it's in manga, and that is the idea of the hero's journey. You experience something that makes you kind of want to grow your hair out. For me, it was a breakup. I know Graves isn't growing his hair out, but
I'm doing it now.
He did today? He didn't get a haircut today, did you, Graves?
I didn't.
See? He's growing his hair out.
You're on the journey.
Probably not getting a haircut tomorrow either, are you?
Oh no.
Oh, see? You're growing it out. Let's all freaking celebrate. Another day down, baby. Great job, Graves.
One day down, another day to go, but the journey's always more fun.
Next year we'll be able to get you back on, and mine will be like half of Lohali's.
Dude, yes. Well, you're gonna catch up to me pretty fast after March 16th.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh man. What? And Rubio, I've read a little bit on this, and so obviously I kind of know what goes on. But why did you start growing out your hair? What was your hero's journey?
Oh man, that's a great story. Well, I think it's great. Obviously, it's my story. But that aside, I was a very much short hair, high and tight, all business, buttoned up, classic businessman Chris Healy. Had a corporate style kind of a job after college for about 7 years after school, and I was always that high and tight guy. But I'd gotten this idea into my head, and I saved up money for 5 or 6 years, and I left my job and I left the U.S. and I did a trip around the world by myself with just a backpack over 11 months. I went to almost 30 countries and just had this completely life-changing experience, both who I was as a person for what I had experienced over that year, but also physically. I grew like facial hair for the first time, and I let my hair grow the whole time. And by the time I got back, I was kind of beyond that awkward stage. My hair was almost getting to my shoulders. And at that point, I'd also been away from a career long enough that I kind of knew I wasn't going to go back into a more official corporate type of job, that I was going to kind of do my own thing. And so I just kept letting it grow from there, never knowing that ultimately it would be the center point in starting this business, the Longhairs. But I'll tell you what, it was that experience of growing my hair out while I was traveling, that set the foundation. That was the thing that originally set me going. If I wouldn't have done that trip, I might still have short hair to this day with a 0 on the sides.
You traveled the world,
Right.
and the world traveled you.
Yes. And look at this. This hair right here at the very end was growing. So that was 7 years ago. That was in February of 2012 is when I was just probably missing my first haircut. When I first probably needed a haircut was 7 years ago today. And since then, I've probably gotten maybe 10 haircuts of like 1/4 of an inch or less. So let's say I've lost, a few inches. But even conservatively, you could say that this hair right here at the very end of this braid is what was coming out of my skull when I was rounding the corner in Australia, heading straight for China. And this lock right here was when I was heading for India. And who knows? You get the idea. But this hair has seen all those countries and was around the world with me. I find that funny. This hair could tell some stories, in other words.
Oh man, my hair can only tell stories of Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas, and Nebraska with one trip. I've been to the ocean just once in my life, and this hair saw me walk out of the water like James Bond. It saw me come out of the water like, well, like a lot of manga characters slowly getting out of the hot springs. A little strange, but it's good. It's all good. Now, Graves, I want you to think about this one. You don't have to say it right now, but who is one of your favorite long-haired characters from manga?
Um, well, kind of going off of some of the stuff like El Rubio said with the Indians and some of those stuff, I'd probably say there's two of them, which going off of Shaman King would be Silva. Um, Indian traditional long black hair that basically goes past his chest, and then Musashi from Vagabond. Traditional samurai braid, everything, and kind of going out from there because as the vagabond that he is, I mean, he made sure that he still had the ponytail and everything else, but he didn't really have the traditional top knot or anything like that.
Yeah, he had the crazy wild man flow. Actually, Rubio, if you can look up Vagabond Musashi, this
Yeah, I
is
am. But Silva is badass, dude. That is some dope flow.
I am jealous. Like that's what my hair looks like, only slightly less awesome when I decide to put it in the highball with one of my many hair ties for guys that
Yes.
my girlfriend uses a heck of a lot more frequently than me.
Dude, Silva's jacked too. He's been hitting the iron impressively. Now Vagabond Musashi is the real killer, though. I mean, well, I don't know what the power levels, but his hair would suggest that you don't want to run into this guy in a dark alley.
Oh, he is one of the most legendary swordsmen of all time in the history of not just manga but actual
Yeah, he's
Japan.
based off of a real historic figure.
And that's what they think his hair actually looked like, was just a wild man, just wild pony. He's just letting it ride, the party pony.
Dude, there's
This
something about looking at pictures of this guy. First of all, the art is just incredible. But that aside, if just talking about the hair, I mean, that would be a completely different character, a different persona. It would be a completely different aesthetic entirely without the hair. It very much frames the context of this character in these pictures. Without the hair, it would be an entirely different character.
Oh
I
yeah,
I can agree to
and
that.
he goes through a change in life where you see him actually shave it off once, and it's like this big momentous occasion that happened.
It's
Yeah.
and that's life. I mean, I think Rubio, you probably know this, but I have a few friends in the Native American community that when they go through a tragic loss, a loss of a very very close family member or friend, basically somebody that is a part of them, to show that they are going through mourning, they will shave their heads entirely, and it is a
Mhm.
process of changing the person, changing their emotions and their ideas. And then they don't start growing their hair back until they feel as if they have basically reached a point where they are, I don't want to say better, but they are stronger.
Mhm.
And I think the idea was similar in Vagabond. He did it to signify that he was changing. I mean,
Mhm.
hairstyles signify a bunch of different things in life. 100%.
Really does.
It's that's the amazing thing about our hairs. It helps give us this constant showing of who we are. It's one way that we can be unique in this world and really be ourselves. Like for me, I'm not able to grow a full beard. I can't do the amazing goatee that El Rubio has. I'm bald here, I'm bald here, uh, and I'm patchy everywhere else. So what did I do? I started growing my hair out, and now look at me. I have a YouTube channel based around manga named after my long hair. And you know what? I think it's finally time for me to tell you guys what my channel name actually means if you did not know. Lohali. LO stands for long. Huh stands for hair. And Lee stands for lifter. Two out of the three
Yeah.
biggest things in my life helped make this channel, and that's why you all think I was from Hawaii originally.
Nice.
Right.
And that's
I'm gonna
actually
keep that one in my back pocket, and I'm gonna bring that out like decades from now at the old cocktail party when no one else knows what that stood for. I'm gonna hold on to that one.
when I am as big as PewDiePie, T Series, and the other big names in the YouTube industry combined, when I am the Mark Cuban of the manga industry, El Ruby will be able to say, yeah, I helped inspire that name.
Well, hopefully in small part. Hey, I wanted to make an observation. I hadn't been into manga before this and getting ready for the call and kind of reading up a little bit. But the first thing that really struck me is just the art and the creative behind the genre and the style here. And I found it especially incredible, how these artists can start with nothing and make marks on a piece of paper or their design and whatever the final outcome is that can so precisely reflect the specific emotions that we can feel. And to be able to see that emotion on the faces of these characters, I just over and over, whether it's the shonen or the different demographics and the different styles. Just the artwork and the creativity behind it in and of itself expresses a deep commitment to creating, and it's tough. Like that's there's a lot of hours that have gone in, and a lot of skill and talent and time that have gone into this industry as a whole, with each and every page and every panel and every character, and it's really impressive.
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking to one man who's read a few hundred series and one man who owns a few thousand books. Uh, and I mean, Graves himself is, like I've said many a time before, probably one of the most knowledgeable manga collectors in the United States. And if he's not in the top 10 in the world currently, I would be heavily, heavily surprised. But he can pick out a series that anyone will love. And you know what? When we get to the end of this, I will see if we can give you a collective suggestion or two on one that you might enjoy reading.
Yes, absolutely. So I had never, I would love, maybe this will give you a tip into what might be a good fit for me. I never was super into comics necessarily, although I loved Calvin and Hobbes was an absolute favorite. But that I was ever into when I was looking at all this manga was I read Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles graphic novels.
Well, that's some dark
by
stuff.
Eastman and Laird, and they were these thick. They were like a thick magazine, not hardbound, but the covers were like really pretty firm cardstock, and I mean those were violent, dude. Like the foot soldiers getting their head sliced off and stabbed, and I mean the Ninja Turtles are just all scarred up and bloody, and they've got their katanas and their weapons, and dude, that was bad ass. I hope I still have those packed away somewhere. But I could see there's a really a broader range of some are it looked like there are some that really are quite dark, while lots of others are probably on the farther end of the spectrum. But those were I loved them as a kid. I was 12 years old, dude. If my mom would have known how bad, how gory those were, she would have never let me read them. But it told the story and the art again behind it, and the whole fantasy of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the story behind it was really well told.
I'm getting a few ideas. You getting anything on what you might suggest, Graves?
Oh, I'm gonna have to still think about it. Although you were kind of making me think of if you need a good laugh throughout your day, there is the Bobobo one where he's got his weapon of attack is his long ass nose hairs.
Oh,
Yes, it is. That would be. I think that's a shonen gag manga. But if we're talking, I'm trying to think because I got the quintessential Calvin and Hobbes. I have all of the Calvin and Hobbes books along with all the Far Side books sitting on my shelves.
yes.
Those were my intro into comics right there. Calvin and Hobbes and the Far Side, and I progressed to Shonen Jump Monthly, and then I progressed to where my collection is at now. Just anyone in the comments, if you have a one shot that you know about that you think is a great comedy, or not just a one shot, but like a great comedy gag manga, leave it in the comments so we can kind of help steer El Rubio deeper into the manga universe.
Yeah, who was I talking about a few minutes ago with the big, huge, crazy, the jacked guy?
Frankie?
Yeah.
That is one of the longest, most popular shonen right now from One Piece. He's actually a side character introduced in the first 400 chapters. It's a long one, but the entire story is about man, I get the chance to talk about one of my favorites. It's the story of a kid named Luffy adventuring around the world to become the king of the pirates. And for him, being the king of the pirates is being the most free man on the earth. He is not bound by laws. He is just bound by basically his own convictions. And along that wild, wild ride, he meets a bunch of different people. He learns a bunch of different things, and it has some of the craziest, most amazing moments in manga of all time. Just again, personal opinion. That's a recommendation. There's another one. Do you like sports, El Rubio?
Yeah, hell yeah.
There is one that I have been reading for a while now. Graves, can you guess which one of the two sports mangas I'm about to recommend?
Oh, Slam Dunk.
Oh, you're the worst. It's not Slam Dunk.
I
It
only
is.
I only thought about that because of the whole vagabond thing.
I know, by the same author. Actually, that's a good point. If you like the artwork behind Vagabond, either pick up Vagabond because it's just a good story, or if you want to read about basketball, pick up Slam Dunk by the same author about a kid adventuring his way through basically high school basketball.
What about Shaman King?
Shaman King with Ryu. That was a fun story. However, the final arc, in my opinion, the last few chapters, kind of detract from the story just a little. But it's honestly a really fun read. It's a very out there read. What do you think on that one, Graves?
Oh yeah,
How would you describe Shaman
I
King?
support that one. How it man, a fusion, a fusion with ghosts and stuff, I guess.
It's a little bit of a strange one, but it has really good action. It's very, very beautifully drawn. Um, but one that I always recommend to people, especially if they're into sports and they're not into like the superpowers, is checking out Hajime Hajime no Ippo. It is a boxing manga that follows the entire storyline from when a senior in high school starts boxing as a way to find out what's strong to where we're at right now in the series, and it is just a crazy, wild, and long ride. You don't even have to read half the time. You just flip through the pages because the action just pulls you in and makes you flip from page to page to page to see what's going to happen next.
Okay, time out. A couple questions here on Hajime no Ippo. When you're talking about consuming these stories, you were talking about reading them, which means are you getting them in a physical hard copy, and then assuming they are in English, and then are they still printed from right to left like the traditional manga, or are we reading into more? Are they presented in a Western style?
They are. So Hajime no Ippo is one of the few series that has not been formally, formally is a very, very loose word, translated to English. You need to know where to find the series to read them the right way, but you are still reading them in the traditional manga way from right to left. Yes.
All right.
That is.
How do I get?
So
I want to get the manga, dude. How do I get in the manga game? Is this where I start? Am I in the right place?
We will lead you to the right place. You can go to rightstuff.com to order a few different books. However, if you want to do tasting, there are different sites that you can go to. I'm not sure. Graves, do you have any scan sites that you have been a part of? You have ever been at?
No.
No? So this one is all on me. And as a fair warning, I do not support scan sites this is just for the community at large. The only reason why I say that you should consume scans sometimes is either to try a series out or if it has not been legally translated to your native language. I'm not going to say English, but to your native language. And always another thing, if you go to a scan site, always have an ad blocker on. How
about just mail me one?
You know what? I will mail
I would
you.
rather consume it in a physical format anyway.
Okay. You know what? That sounds like a plan. I have.
Graves, why don't you mail me a couple of thousand copy volumes there that you got in your little stash? Quit keeping those all to yourselves. Why don't you share some manga around a little bit?
The manga library. Rent them
Ship
out
a,
for.
ship a few boxes out of the library out here.
Right? I'll come out there too. Can I have a job for like a week?
Hey, come on out, dude. Get in the truck. Head west. If you find yourself in the Pacific Ocean, you've gone too far.
Right?
You know what? That sounds. You know what? I will.
Road trip.
El Rubio. I have a very large thing that I purchased this month. In my manga collection. I will send you 2 volumes to read. I mean, obviously, once you get done reading them, I may want them back, but I think
I'll return them 100%. I'll
Perfect.
return them.
I will send you a few different first volumes from my own personal collection that you can sift through and read to see if there's anything in there that you would like that I currently own. And that is Aloha Lee promise. We're going to bring another man into the manga universe and make it amazing.
Spoken by Loha Lee himself.
Tonight I will go to my shelves, which are 10 feet away. I will pick out the individual volumes that may interest you, and I will get them shipped out within the next day or so.
All right. You can just send one if you want, or however many you want. I'll just give me a little something to peruse, to take a little spin through. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a little bit of the Hajime no Ippo. Maybe it's a little bit of the Shaman. I don't know. Maybe it's something crazy I haven't even heard of yet, and you're just gonna throw me a left hook out of nowhere.
And I'll
welcome whatever you got.
You know what? The gauntlet has been raised and thrown. Lohali has decided to find the best series in his collection and send one book from my favorites.
You don't even have to send your favorite. Dealer's choice. Surprise me.
Well, don't worry. The dealer has a few ideas. The dealer has a few ideas.
So I think you should send 2 of them. You should send one that's your favorite, and then one based off of hair.
One based off. I'm trying to think if there's anything in my actual collection right now that has specifically.
I thought of one while we were having this conversation, especially growing your hair out and the journey and knowing about like what it means to a character and the history that goes with it, kind of sorta, was Monster.
I see you're really throwing down the gauntlet on this one.
Laying it down.
All right. I have my list pulled up and I'm looking at what I have on my shelves. That way I can get you something that I think you will love. All right, All right, I have a few ideas. I have a few ideas of what I will send. And I'm so excited. This is the exciting part of running this channel, is getting to talk with people who either love this just as much as I do or have an interest in manga. And we have brought El Rubio into the manga fold, and we will see what we can bring on. Because that way, next time that we have him on to discuss the awkward stage of growing your hair, we can have him discuss the series that he perused through.
Yeah, dude. Definitely.
This is... I'm absolutely blown away. Now, there were a few other things that I kind of want to try to talk about. Just that way... Let me pull up the last email that I sent you. And that has a link to the Longhairs name game. Now, all of you can follow along. That's the Imager link that I sent to you, Rubio. Graves, Yep. Do you have it? And I'm going to actually post this on the chat so y'all can follow along if you so choose. There you go. That link is leading you to
name game here.
Imager. There are 7 images on here with some of the most ridiculous hairstyles that I could think of. Now, we've already named one of them, but that does not mean anything. We're going to name them all. This is like Pokemon right now, boys. We got to name them all.
Oh, no. Are we turning it into a rat, too?
We are turning into a rat. So we're going to start off with image number 1, the Frankie hairstyle. While this is not his everyday hairstyle, because when you press his nose, his hair grows. These are the wings of Frankie. And let's see if we can have... let's see, El Rubio, what would you name this hairstyle from Frankie?
I would have to call this the sunburst.
The sunburst. Great.
You know, on the surface of the sun, those bursts that fire up sometimes hundreds of miles high, like a gigantic flamethrower.
Yes.
That reminds me of these sunbursts that could just blast out at you if you, of course, were walking on the surface of the sun.
That would be a very painful thing.
Yeah.
All right. Graves, would you name it something else?
Oh, no. I like that one.
All right. So the next one is the golden-haired god himself. The man, the myth, and the legend. The longest long hair in the manga community up to a point. And the one who everyone associates with having long hair. And that is Son Goku from Dragon Ball Z. Specifically, Super Saiyan 3. This long golden mane looks like a lion, and if you actually pay really close attention, he does have eyebrows. They're just so blonde, they're see-through. What would you name this one?
Oh, okay, this is the older looking fellow.
Let's see. Yeah, the one with the golden hair. There should be 2 images. It's a toy this time.
Oh, that's what I was talking about, the
Okay.
sunburst.
Okay, so Frankie was the top one. So that's Sunburst. All right. So then we'll do Charles D. Britannia from Lelouch of the Rebellion, the old dude with the weird ringlets. He looks like he's a judge from the 1800s.
Yeah. So wait,
right.
What did you think I was talking about when I said the sunburst? The guy with the wings?
Yes, Frankie.
Oh shoot, dude, my bad. No. I don't have a name for that one yet. Graves has got to nail that one down for us.
Graves, you're on the Frankie nickname train on this one.
Oh, man. Blue Angel.
The Blue Angel. That's
yeah.
That brings images of soaring through the sky, being an absolute just badass. That is my one for the day, everybody. Being an absolute just technically proficient person and entertaining children for years. I like that one. I like that one. So now we're on to the old man, Charles D. Britannia from Lelouch of the Rebellion.
Something has got me thinking Hostess cupcakes here. I don't know what I'm seeing with those ringlets. I'm going to call this the cannelloni.
The cannelloni.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
They look like cannelloni pasta.
You know what? I never actually thought about that. That's a really good point.
Right?
Oh,
That is some pasta-style hair.
right?
Dude, that is cannelloni right here. That is the cannelloni if I've ever seen it.
Oh, man.
It's a no-doubter. The cannelloni.
I used to... One of the meals that we used to do at work, because I work at a meal prep place, was actually putting cannelloni into packages to ship out. And now that you're saying that, I just picture that I was handling this man's hair for hours on end sometimes. And that just makes me feel strange. Oh, man, that is awesome. All right, so we're gonna scroll down to the blonde kid of Hanazawa from Mob Psycho 100.
Hanazawa.
He is the
Graves?
blonde. Yes.
Graves, you got anything in mind?
What's the guy's name again?
Hanazawa, Hanazawa, if I can slightly spell.
Bam, it'll work. Oh gosh. The wig.
Yeah, I like the wig.
I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks fake.
Something's got me thinking about the old Dr. Seuss, the big tuffet, the things, the plants or whatever used to grow like that.
Oh, the truffula trees.
Yeah, yeah. The truffula.
Oh my gosh.
Can I get a second on that?
That is.
Graves?
I'll second it.
All right, dude.
We have a decided opinion, and that is unanimous here. The truffula tree. The hairstyle is now the truffula. And by the way, the reason why it looks so fake is because it is a wig. His hair was originally not that tall, and then he got into a fight with somebody and lost all of his hair. It seems to be a constant thing. It was a sad moment. Now the next one is the one that we have already named from Ryu from Shaman King. El Rubio named this one the Wave. This was the Wave. All right.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say the tubular.
The tubular.
Which one is it? Is it the long pompadour, or is it like after it gets cut in half?
It's after it gets cut in half, so it's still it's the full heart.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I got it. The tubulove.
The tubulove.
Hey, will you look up look him up and look up his first hairstyle, Rubio?
All right. Let's see. RYU Shaman King hair. He had like 6 of them. He's gone through a bunch of different hairstyles.
It was his very first one. He on his motorcycle, he actually had a bike helmet that was shaped perfectly so he could slide it over the pompadour and then put it on his head, and the helmet was like 6 feet out from his face.
He was dedicated to that hairstyle.
He was.
He's gone through a few different editions.
Dude, I see some dress ups. This is great.
This is what the long hair community needs. It needs.
It is a lot. Yeah. Dude, we need to do a post. You guys should spearhead long hair top 10 long hairs in manga.
I think we can handle that. What do you think, Graves?
For sure.
All
right, so look at this. We're making tons and tons of plans.
Do people say manga and manga interchangeably?
It just depends on where you're from. I say manga. Graves, I think, says manga. Right, Graves?
Yeah.
But
I heard a guy with an accent saying it, and he was saying that. I'm sure that's why, because he had an accent.
It's a very divisive issue. It's like if you were to ask subs versus dubs. Now, guys in the comments, don't you dare start saying subs versus dubs. Ugh.
Okay, we got 2 to go here. Sunny?
Yep, Sunny from Toriko. What do we... Graves, do you have anything that you want to name this one?
The Rainbow Burst.
The Rainbow Burst. Okay, all right, I like it. Rubio, what do you got on this one?
I feel like they're like cords almost coming down. They're really thick locks. It's not like a flowing mane. These are almost like big long noodles or cords.
The dread bow.
I feel like we should replay this and play it as Name That Pasta.
Name That Pasta.
Yeah, I didn't want to do another pasta one.
I'm feeling like the dread bow. It's a mix between dreadlocks and rainbow. but that could just be me. Graves, what do you think?
Oh yeah, I'd agree with that.
Bowlocks.
Bowlocks. Ooh, Bowlocks. I like it.
I could go with that. Bowlocks. The Bowlocks.
The Bowlocks.
He's got Bowlocks. Sonny has Bowlocks.
And actually, Rubio, this is something that we touched on earlier in the stream. His power is actually utilizing his long hair to fight his enemies.
Okay, I can see that.
That is
They're almost like tentacles.
He's able to control each and every individual hair on his head.
Damn.
As feelers, as touchers, as weapons. Like,
Oh, and I mean, even the hair that you're seeing right now, like he says that his hair is so minute that there's 100 of them together for you to even see one strand of it.
Wow.
Because when he's talking about it or whatever, he goes, "I can be standing here and you be like a mile away, and I can touch you with the tip of my hair."
Yeah, it's an intense thing. Whew. So the bow dreads. And the final one on this list is probably one of the craziest hairstyles in anime and manga. Something that is synonymous with just ridiculous over-the-top hairstyles. And for those of you wondering, it is natural. This is Yami Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! The final one on this list. And
I love this.
This is some dedication to hair right here. If he doesn't wake up and put gel in his hair, that's insane.
It's impressive.
What are we naming this one?
Graves, you got anything?
I can't believe it's not hair.
Oh, man.
I feel like I would want to know a little more about the character.
So this character is the reincarnation, basically, of an ancient Egyptian pharaoh who used magic to capture monsters into large stone tiles and fight his enemies. Now, in the modern times, he is helping a young boy basically gain confidence, win card games based on those same stones, and basically causing tomfoolery against the agents of darkness.
All right. Can appreciate the mission.
If I was going to name this one, it has so many sharp points and edges, outlined in red with gold. I'm going to have to call them the Pharaoh Spikes.
The Pharaoh Spikes?
The Pharaoh Spikes.
I like it, dude.
Graves, what do you think?
I'll accept it.
Pharaoh Spikes it is. All right.
Solid.
Everyone watching, we're going to wrap up this show right now because...
Great job there, boys.
Thank you. But before
Thank
we
you.
go, we obviously need El Rubio to talk a little bit more about the Great Cut. In the description, I do have a link to their GoFundMe page and to their website, I believe. If not, you can find them at the longhairs.us. But El Rubio, give us the rundown on the Great Cut.
Yes, man. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. So as I mentioned earlier, we're trying to break the Guinness World Record for the largest hair donation in history, which up until 2 days ago was, in our minds, 181 pounds of hair. It has just been brought to our attention that the record was recently broken in October and now stands at 338 pounds of hair, which in this case was shorn from the heads of 2,300 Puerto Ricans who have pretty thick hair. So we're going to need more than 2,500 haircuts in theory to eclipse this newly set Guinness World Record, and it's going to be tough. So we are recruiting hair donors to register and come to San Diego for the Great Cut on March 16th. donate your hair. Or if you can't, you can come as a guest or even as a hair professional to help operate the shears and perform these 2,000 some haircuts. Now, I get it. Not everyone can make it all the way out to sunny California, unfortunately, at least not with only a few weeks' notice. So if you cannot come to the Great Cut, we do have a GoFundMe where we're trying to raise $200,000 for children with hair loss, our charity partner who is the beneficiary of the Great Cut. And you can link up with the GoFundMe and make a freaking $5 donation or $10 or whatever you can afford. Any donation will be really gratefully accepted. And with that said, it's coming on as of the recording date today. We're 23 days away, and it's going to be a special hair whipping, karate kicking, record breaking charity event at the Great Cut in San Diego. You can learn more, register, or find the link to the GoFundMe at thegreatcut.us.
That was absolutely amazing, absolutely true. I'm not going
I'm
to be
cutting
donating
18 inches off myself. This whole, sorry to interrupt you. The entire length of this braid right here is going to be shorn from my skull. And that's almost nothing because my partner in crime, El Moreno, and co-founder of the Longhairs, he is rumored to be shaving his entire head so that we may stand in support of the children that we are helping. So that's a lot of hair.
That is a lot of hair. I'm surprised that the two of you by yourselves don't get us close to 150 pounds.
Hopefully. Oh, I'm sorry. One last option that I didn't mention for viewers is if you want to donate your hair, there's a mail-in option if you can't come to San Diego. So, again, you can still find that option. It's where you would cut your hair at your own stylist or salon, and then you would mail your hair to us, and it will still count towards the Guinness World Record. And you'll still get this really nice gift bag that we're sending out to everyone who participates. So that's another way to participate and help us and be part of a world record. Donate your hair with the mail-in option. And however, anyone who doesn't want to cut their hair, that's fine. I support you, and we will give you a waiver of honor because, you know, having long hair is awesome. If you don't want to cut it, that's fine. Just do a small donation on our GoFundMe. Save it for next time. And so thanks again, guys, for letting me talk about it.
Not a problem. It was a pleasure to have you on. Graves, if you want to do your normal sign out.
Oh, before I do that, I want to thank El Rubio for being on here with us. It was great. You know, you helped us go out a little more. You know, manga is such a great thing for people, just like donating hair, donating books, all that other stuff. It's great support for people that can't do certain things or don't have certain things. So I want to thank you before my sign out for being on here with us, El Rubio.
Heck yeah, glad to be here. It was fun talking manga.
Right.
Something that I did not expect this to happen when I first made this channel. That was a hope and a dream to have the long hairs on. And guess what? Hopes and dreams are achieved. So let's help them reach theirs. Graves, your usual sign out, and then I'll do my usual thing. And I guess that'll be the end of this episode.
All right, guys. I will catch you later. Jen Graves, signing out.
As always, guys, thank you, El Rubio, for being on. It was an absolute honor, and it's amazing that we, as a manga community, can hopefully try to make a change and a difference in somebody else's life, which is, it's absolutely mind-blowing. Like I said, originally, I would not have made this channel if I had not had a month off of work, and you had not helped me hammer down how to cut down my wording on my blog post so I didn't have any superfluous words. One of those that you made me cut. See right there? I would have not have understood SEO. This channel would not be around without the long hairs. So I'm going to be giving back. I may not be donating my hair, but I am going to be donating a little bit of money to hopefully help a kid get just another smile on their face for another day. We've all had hard times, and some of us have had support, some of us haven't. So let's see if we can give that amazing manga support to these kids. You know, we all have a little bit of a manga budget. Even if you take one book out that you were going to buy this month, that's, $5 to $15 to help make a difference in a kid's life. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what the manga community can round up, and let's do this for the kids. Oh, and the other amazing thing is, I don't know if El Rubio mentioned this, but since they are partnered with children with hair loss, it is completely free to the kids, unlike some of the other ones out there that are not exactly the best in that regard. And this is one of the best charities that I've seen for kids with hair loss. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and for everyone new and old, welcome and welcome back. It's your boy Lohali, signing out.